3 years ago, September 22nd, 2022, I was listening to a podcast of this really powerhouse female that was sharing her story, and I was really captivated by the authenticness of her capacities to share. And she's talking about how she had a super successful business she just sold, and her kids, 2 boys, were launched to college and sold the house, and everything in her world pretty good. Everything except, in her words, my only failure was my marriage. And after 25 years of my higher voices kind of being dormant, 20 years, I hear this huge voice in my head saying, you didn't fail your marriage, you chose to live your divinity over your humanity. And everything from that moment forward has kind of re-emerged in Joe from a place of recommunion, from a conscious contact, taking action on a daily basis with my higher power in control. And it isn't as though the past 20 years that same higher power wasn't guiding my life. It was, but it was guiding my life more in a position of creating a business, creating a household, empowering my children, having 2 boys, more of a family event that my higher power was guiding me to do. Well, on that day, interestingly enough, I still haven't met that woman, this particular woman. I've seen her a couple different times. She pops up on my feeds every once in a while. I hope to meet her someday. But really, what's interesting about it is that never left me. The concept living your divinity versus your humanity. What does that mean? Well, what it means is as a multidimensional being, your humanity is your human self. It's the self that is literally living in the world, making decisions, paying your electric bill, taking your kids to school, guiding your kids, doing whatever, paying taxes. That's your human self. The higher self, your divinity self, for a lot of us, is integrating more and more. In my opinion, we're in a place of humanity where the evolving, the opening, the transition out into a grander sense of self is happening today in our world faster than ever before. I write about this in my book that'll be coming out in the spring called Awaken Greatness. And in Awaken Greatness, I tell the story about if you look at mankind, literally what was consciously perfectly okay 150, 180 years, the concept of owning a human, it was the social norm. It's an absolute atrocity today. In the 50s, the 1950s, and Elvis Presley would swing his hips because he loved music. Oh, it was blasphemy of the day. Now we just call it music. And if you look at how people were in the past and how they are now, we're living in a world that's opening up to a higher communion in a way that it's never happened before. And it's happening faster. What does that mean? It means that more and more and more and more of us are waking up, and we're being guided more from a place of divinity versus humanity. The book that came through me after this particular interview is called Unequally Yoked. And what is unequally yoked? Unequally yoked is when 2 people or 2 things or a business and anything in your world that you have a relationship with, if it is not growing at the rate you are, growing spiritually at the rate you are, eventually you and that thing outgrow each other. And eventually you can fight it or you can surrender. And I say all the time, it's not my life, it's God's life. Well, in that place of living your divinity, that's not Joe choosing Joe's choices, that's Joe following a guidance system that is connected to a power greater than myself, which I call God. That's a divinity self. And from that position, right, of following the higher sense of self, that's where true faith comes into place. What is faith? Faith is trust in action. Trust, I'm trusting something, and I'm taking action on that which I'm trusted. That's called faith. And from that position of faith, then things unfold, but they unfold in a different way. They unfold in a higher way. They unfold in a way that the world shifts a little bit because I've shifted a lot. My external world today is very different than it used to be. And it happens through the whole concept of following and living and shifting into, moving from your humanity to your divinity, and how we can really see it in our worlds. And some people are there now, and some people will be there later. Some people, it's really dramatic. They can really see it. And the different emotional components of a successful humanity perspective versus a successful divinity perspective. Humanity is the success of humanity is measured by our gratitude. The success of the following of our divinity is measured by grace. And how do we create grace? It's the flow. It's the accumulation. It's the closing of the circle. Gratitude is the emotion that is created by the receiving of wonderful things in our lives, by us putting out into the world and then us receiving. Grace is created by our act of giving. And as we give without condition, as we give from a place of overflow, as we give in that world, the emotional position that we then live in isn't gratitude, it's grace. The difference between the two, gratitude is a never-ending cycle of needed satiation. No matter what you are grateful for Monday, you're not as grateful for it on Wednesday. You're not, by definition. That's why gratitude is a continual creation phase of accomplishment, which is wonderful. Gratitude lists the whole thing, right? Grace, as we live it, serenity is the end result. You don't have to constantly be doing action to have the same sense of grace on a Monday as you do on the Thursday, as you do on the following Friday. Why? Because the beneficiary of your overflow isn't you directly, it's whoever you gave the overflow to. And from that position, grace is a constant, ever-living thing inside of us, because the person who received your overflow has a better life because of you. Is that always money? No, a lot of times it's not money at all, but it's overflow. It's you giving back. What's your reward? Sense of serenity, a sense of grace. We live in a time of humanity that we're changing faster than ever before. We're literally shifting faster than we've ever before. We live in an era of time where I call Generation Lap. There are many young children, young kids that know more about technology than their parents do. First time in mankind's history where children know more than adults. The same thing is happening at a rapid level from a place of spiritual communion, from a place of spiritual awakening. There are more and more people remembering every day that what is inside. I'm not here to educate you. I'm here to help you remember. Remember the truth that's never left you. You've just been separate from it. You're separate from it because unconscious environments constantly say that your okayness is out here. Many religions say that it's my way or the highway, and our religion is right or you're going to burn in hell. A separating event. Many different people live from a position that if I just have more out there, I'll feel better in here. It's the opposite. The truth is the opposite. Your okayness is here. From living that place of okayness, connection, conscious connection, and the more practiced you get at it, the grander the experience is. But the experience you're pursuing when you're giving back from that conscious place is grace. We live in a place to where the reward of all the work you're doing, the reward of all the pain you're going through, the reward of all the change your world is in the middle of maybe, the reward is an everlasting, never dimming experience called grace. And literally, when we live a life in grace, we're living in God's highest image, and we're living literally as the purpose in which you were born to experience.